Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and get started here where we left off. First of all, I want to get rid of this stuff we don't need up here, so I'm going to right click and remove. Now I want to continue working on this fretboard a little bit here. And go back to our neck sketch and edit that. Now I've measured my nut and it's 2.35 inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead and create a line right through here. And I'm going to dimension that from the nut line, 2.35. I'm sorry, 0.235. Go ahead and snip these ends off. Give it its new dimension, its new length here. And now we're fully constrained again. I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch there. Turn that sketch back on, and I'm going to extrude that nut. I'm going to cut mine halfway into the fretboard for the slot, so I need to extrude it 3 millimeters. And then plus I need about 0.15 inches above the fretboard for my fret and my action height. 0.15 inches. Enter that. Now I'm going to go ahead and offset these faces here just a little bit so I can do a good cut. So basically just making it a little bit wider. And then I'm going to call this my nut. And I'm going to right click on the nut and move it. And I want to move it straight up 3 millimeters. And then turn my fretboard back on, hide the nut, bring my neck back on, and I want to offset this fretboard, start dragging it in the direction towards the head, and then just click on this dot right in this point right here and click OK. And then I want to put a fillet and I'm going to make that 6 millimeters. Now on his drawing he put a special cove in here. You can study that and try to figure that out. I'm just going to use this fillet. Then I'm going to bring my nut back in and I'm going to do a combine the fretboard and the nut and put that in a cut. And I'm not going to keep that tool. I don't think I'm going to. I'll shape the nut by hand. And we'll do the inlays and the fret positions later. So we can hide that for now. Okay, so now for the head veneer, we can do an offset plane from the head plane, and we'll give that a negative 2 millimeter value, and then go to go to split body, choose your neck body, and then select the splitting tool, will be that plane we just created, and click OK. And we'll call this plane head veneer. Now you can hide the neck. And bring up the head sketch. And now we want to split body and pick your head veneer. And then select the splitting tool. Will be all of this line right here. And click OK. Now, because the geometry is so tight in through here, we can't really do a join on these. We can try to join these two together, but it errors out and it doesn't give us the option to complete it. So instead, what I'm going to do is just right click on this portion and remove it. And this, I don't know what it is or where it is. I'm going to remove that as well. Not sure what happened with that. And then turn our neck back on. So if you're going to use a veneer on top, then you want to keep it just like this. I'm not. I'm just going to make this a solid piece up here and paint it. Maybe I am. I don't know. I'll leave it for now. Decide on that later. You could join these together if you're for sure going to paint it. And then if you do join them, then you could come in here with this fillet tool. So you can put a fillet in here in this line, and for a 1/8 bullnose bit, this would be 0.0625. And then you can do that with a single pass with an 1/8 inch bullnose. Okay, I'm going to turn off this neck and I'm going to edit my head sketch. I'm going to bring back up this head canvas and I'm going to draw a line from the center of this peg hole to the center of this peg hole. Escape out of that, and I'm going to make that line parallel to this edge over here. Okay, and then you'll need to know the size of your holes for your pegs. And go to the circle tool. I'm going to start down here and create a hole here for your peg. I'm going to point 0.375 3/8 inch hole. Enter there. And go ahead and get rid of this dimension because I'm going to dimension them all the same. I want them all to look the same. I'm going to click on this line to find out the length of it, and I see here it's 5.169. I'm going to window select all this hole, go to create, rectangular pattern. I'm going to change my quantity to 6. I'm going to select the direction of this line. I'm going to start moving the arrow in the direction I want to go. And I'm going to type in a value here, negative 5.169. and click OK on that. And then I'm going to click on this line and delete it. Now you can take the time if you wanted to go ahead and constrain every one of these. If you want to do that, first thing you'll notice is if you click on the center here and hold, left click and hold. Up that one I already removed the dimension. You'll see you have two sketch points. One, when you hover on it, nothing really shows up, and the other one, the actual circle shows up. So what you want to do is on the one that nothing, click on that one and delete it, and then same thing on every one of these. If the circle shows up, that's not the one you want, and it's the other one. Click on it and delete it. Otherwise, when you try to dimension these to these outer lines, you may pick the wrong point and you're not really holding down the center. I think the other is just the dot for the rectangular pattern. I'm not sure what it is, but it is going to interfere with your dimensioning if you leave them in there. As you can see, they're not the same every time. Sometimes it's the upper sketch, sometimes it's the lower sketch in the list. Okay, and then you would dimension every one of these the same. D key, you give this one a value from the center to this line. And it's not locked down because it still needs to know a diameter. So you click on here, I'll put the diameters right out here in these tuners. Now you see it turn black. It's fully locked down. I guess I'll go ahead and do it right, finish this up. Okay, so we have those fully dimensioned now, and it's all locked down again. And again, if you were feeling lazy about it, you could just select all of those and hit this fix button and it would lock them all down for you. I don't know how critical it is. You probably want to lock them all down. That way the design stays parametric and we can change the neck angle later without any issues. So I'm going to finish that sketch and turn my neck back on. And turn my head sketch back on. Rotate this direction, and now I'm going to hit the Q key for press pull. And I'm going to choose all of the circles. Make sure you click on the inside of the circle. You want to click in here, not out here on this line. And then we'll start moving them in a direction and go over and change from distance to all. And it doesn't like that. That's what I thought. I was going to make a separate sketch, but I'm going to change this back to distance and just push it all the way through and click OK. Okay, now I want to work on this heel down here. So we can hide that fretboard. And if you go back and look at the sketch, you can see the neck transition from the heel starts at about the 16th fret, and that's pretty much standard for most all guitars. So we're going to split this neck at around the 16th fret here. So what we want to do is create an offset plane from the end of the neck here, and I'm going to go in the negative direction. and about a -4 inches. We'll put us at right around the 16th fret. Then we're going to do a split body, select the neck, and then select the splitting tool, will be this plane right here, and click OK. We'll go ahead and call this plane the neck split. Now we can hide the big portion and hide the plane. Now what we want to do is do another extrude from this top face. We want to change this instead of distance to object, and we want to extrude it to the back plane. And do over here a join so it makes it one big chunk, and click OK. I'm going to roll this over to the bottom here. Now we want to create a new sketch here on the back plane. Actually, before we do that, we can just go ahead and finish this sketch, and we'll call it the back. Before we start that, turn that off, turn this off. Let's go back to the master here. Right click and edit the master, and turn on the master canvas, and go ahead up here to create and point, and right where this heel comes through the neckline, I want to put a point right there. The same thing down here, right where it comes through, put a point there, and finish that sketch. That way we have the master plan. Now go back to what happened to my back sketch. Okay, it's alphabetical. It went out. That's strange. I don't know why it went up here instead of down here. Usually I struggled to put them where I want them. Any rate, right click and edit this sketch, and turn this back on. Actually, we don't need that back on. Wrong. Turn on the master sketch and project these two dots that we just added, and click OK, and hide the master sketch. See, those dots disappeared. I don't know why it does that either. Go ahead and knock this thing out of kilter a little bit, and they show up again. And draw a line between those two dots, and then escape out of that. You can put it back to a straight on bottom view. Bring up your master sketch, master canvas. Now we want to create this heel shape right here. We forgot the center line. Turn back on the master sketch and P for project, and go ahead and project in that center line, and hit OK on that, and then turn that master sketch can go off. Okay. Now I'm going to create circle, 2-point circle, and from the center line here, I'm going to click right here and pull this out. Now this one we don't have to stay snapped to the center. We can go ahead and put it in about where he has his. I'm just going to call this a 2-inch radius, and make sure it looks pretty straight, and hit enter. So now it's already radiused. Now we need to go ahead and lock this circle down. So I'm going to do a dimension from this point to this line, and again from this point back here to this reference point. Okay, so that has us fully constrained now, and the circle is locked down. And I'm going to escape out of that. And then this is 2 arcs. tangent to the circle and to each other. So I'm going to create 3-point arc. I'm going to anchor one here and to about halfway between. Click that and kind of set that to that. And then create another one from here to here. Kind of go the other direction. Click that and enter. And I'm going to make this tangent to the circle. It's already tangent to the other arc. I'm going to escape out of that and then grab this point and drag it onto meet the sketch here. It looks pretty good there. And then to lock that down, we need to put, you can dimension these two radiuses right here. Enter, 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 enter. And then add down here another arc from this point to here. Make sure it's tangent to the circle, hit OK. And grab this trim and go ahead and get rid of the rest of this stuff we don't need. I don't need this stuff anymore. And give this one a radius, dimension, radius. I guess this can still move here. Yeah, so we need to lock this point down right here. So we just dimension from here down to this line. Okay, and we've got that fully constrained now. We can finish that sketch. Hide the master sketch, turn this back sketch back on, and turn the neck back on. Okay, spinning around so we can see the heel end. Now just do a loft. Whoops, left that center line in there. We need to get rid of that. So I'm going to cancel out of that. Go back to the neck, edit that sketch, and delete this center line. You might have to do it a couple times to get rid of it. And now finish that sketch and loft from here to here. And go to profile 1 and whoops, go to profile 2 and add a curvature. Now if you pull this in too far, it creates a mess, it disappears, and also you see it's changing this angle, and that's not good at all. Yeah, my machine's locked up from doing that. Give it a second here to clear. So you can pull it in a little bit, but not too much. If you want to stay away from that dead zone in there. And we don't want to join these. We want to create a new body. Click OK on that. We can hide this sketch. Okay, it went away. So turn this body back on. Now what we want to do is do a split body. We want to split this big chunk and select the splitting tool. If you hide the chunk, just this face back here on the back, and just make sure that it sticks out everywhere like this one is. If you did your loft and you pulled this angle in too much like I was showing you, then this edge right here is going to get really in here close and tight and maybe not even come out at all, and that's no good. It's going to mess up. It's probably going to lock your machine up too. This is a hard calculation. It takes a lot of processor power to make this calculation actually. So that looks good though. I'm going to click OK on that. And we get this. Now we have all these extra pieces up here. So to start with, let's see. I want this weird looking chunk here and this piece. And I'm going to do a combine on that. And I'm going to do an intersect. So select target will be this, and then select the tool body will be this, and intersect will look like this piece, and OK. Now we have these two pieces left, and then we'll do a combine on those and a join. So select target body, this one, and select tool body is this one, and we do not keep the tool, and OK. And then one more time, combine the neck and the neck, join, OK. So now we just have the fretboard and the neck. Now if we hide that fretboard, we need to split this heel off of this neck. So we're going to create another offset plane from the top, and then if you remember from the drawing, this heel thickness is 23.5 millimeters, but that should be in a negative direction, negative 23.5 millimeters. And then do another split body, select this body, and then select this plane, click OK. I'm going to call that plane the heel split. And hide that. Now we have to glue all this back together up here. Let's see here, we want to get rid of this heel. Not there, not there, that one. And so we'll call this the heel. And now we want to join these two pieces back together with a join. And that puts the head back together where we split it. And that's still called the neck, and this is the heel. And then there you have it. There's your finished neck, almost. Let's see, let's go down here and hit the fillet, and we're going to radius this and this. We're going to radius that 0.125. Hit enter. We'll do the same on the fretboard later. We don't want to do that right now because we need this one straight edge later for, well, let me think about that. No, we don't, because I'm not doing a scallop on this. No, we don't. So we can go ahead and radius that as well. This and this, 0.125. And there's your finished neck without frets, inlays, and bolt holes. And I think that's going to do it for today. We'll work on the body next time. So once again, I want to tell you guys, God bless you. I truly mean that. And catch you guys in the next video. And don't forget to save your work.